trade-off. It's like you don't want to be ingesting harmful things, but you don't want to just filter absolutely everything out either.
Do you need a water filter? The first kind of thing that we want to talk about is fear mongering. So you're going to see articles about that your city water is bad, or the water that you're drinking is contaminated, and they at the end of the video they're like, oh yeah, here are these really expensive water filters for your house and your RV and your boat and all these other options.
I always see listed like a bunch of news articles from like years and years ago of like, oh, all these people got infected with whatever virus or bacteria.
Giardia and Legionella.
But then you look at it and it's from like a long time ago. And, those are like few and far in between. But they'll find them just to put them in the articles. At least I feel like.
Yeah. There's this massive Western, extremely high standard of cleanliness. An example of this is like a reverse osmosis filter. It's fantastic at filtering, but it also takes out really essential vitamins and minerals like we went over in our last video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as we talked about in that other video, and we'll also link it down below, there's a study that links reverse osmosis filters to having like a vitamin B12 deficiency. And if it's causing a B12 deficiency, it's probably causing other vitamin and mineral deficiencies too that we just don't know about. So it's a trade-off. It's like you don't want to be ingesting harmful things, but you don't want to just filter absolutely everything out either.
So another thing to think about is, chlorine, pesticides, herbicides, things of that nature. Other areas of where you're getting your water from will determine if those things are going to be present, as well as potential sources of bacteria such as, wells, rivers, lakes.
Yeah, so if you're filling from places like a municipal source, you probably don't have to worry as much as if you're filling from a campground that gets well water. Those are the ones that are like maybe a little bit more sketchy.
More rural.
Yeah, like more rural areas that, you're not really sure like where they're getting their water from. But you can always just be careful. Like if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on like a really high quality filter, you can always just be really careful about where you're filling up your water from. And just, don't fill up from a lake or, something like that. But that being said, chlorine and pesticides and herbicides and stuff like that, those are things to be concerned about, at least we feel, especially because, and we'll link a study down below as well that showed that these can be endocrine disruptors. So that's something that really should be a concern. Even in potable water. So it's good to have at least a carbon filter if you can have it, just to filter that stuff out.
So it's really recommended that you at least use an inline strainer and a UV water bottle and a carbon filter if you can afford putting one into your system. That way you can kind of get the best bang for your buck.
But also keep in mind, plenty of people are out there going to campgrounds and don't have any filter at all, and they're perfectly fine. So a lot of it just depends on what you're comfortable with and where you know that you're going to be getting your water from.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so to close out this video, make sure that if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out some of our other videos that we linked, and also check out that study of the endocrine disruptors. It's really good. Thanks for watching.